Opposition leader in agreement to a political solution that will not divide the country. Tear gas and water cannons fired to disperse protest against the sale of the port. Minister Kabir Hashim announces the selection of an investor for Lanka Airlines. Trade unions question the transparency of the selection process.
TPG කියන Texas Pacific Group කියන ඇමරිකන් සමාගමක් මේ වෙනුවෙන් ආයෝජන කරලා තියෙන ආයෝජකයෙක් විදිහට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න ඒ ආයෝජකයාට හිටපු මහ බැංකුව අධිපතිවරයාගේ යම් සම්බන්ධයක් තියෙන බවට තොරතුරු ලැබෙමින් තියෙනවා.
Racket which overcharges persons for the use of public sanitary facilities in Colombo uncovered.
Well, good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo on TV1 and Shakti TV. I am Shahin Jurangpati. And I am Dasni Atada. Let's start off with a look at the stories in detail. President Maithripala says the objective of his government is to take the country forward together with all people. He made this statement during an event in Kalawanchikudi in Batticaloa.
The ceremony to vest the new outpatients department and the ward complex built at the Kalawanchikudi Base Hospital in Batticaloa with the public was held today. The President registered the first patient to the new ward complex. As a principal solution to bring about unity and reconciliation among communities, we are preparing a new constitution. Some persons speak ill of it and spread false information. They say that we are making an attempt to separate and divide the nation. They say we are destroying the country and that we are bowing down to international forces. This is all false. We reject these claims. Opposition leader Sambandhan said he is of the vision that devolution of power must strengthen reconciliation without dividing the country. We are committed to that great cause. The initial activities in this regard will be completed within the next few months. Some claim that they will topple this government. Those persons who were in governance before are dreaming, but those dreams will not come true. I must make it clear that we will move forward stronger and no one can cripple the journey of the government. We will continue with the struggle to win our rights. We aspire to bring about a new constitution through dialogue and achieve long-lasting solutions to the issues in the country, which will ultimately bring unity to the nation. When we are making such attempts, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa recently said that we are attempting to instill separatism through the new constitution. That is a false statement. Until now, at all discussions, we have continuously called for a political solution that will not see the country divided. This political solution must be one accepted by everyone. We are of the stance that the solution must not see the country divided. I call on Mahinda Rajapaksa to join hands in this cause. We hope for your support. Rather than inciting racism in the country, we must bring about unity among the people and solve the issues. Everyone must come together to bring about a solution to the national issue that has gone unsolved for 70 years. This will be a meritorious deed.
Water cannons and tear gas were used by the police to disperse a protest organized by the National Trade Union Centre today.
The protest organised by the National Trade Union Centre against the eastern terminal of the Colombo port being leased out commenced opposite the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. The police stopped the protesters with a court order in hand from moving towards the Presidential Secretariat via Lotus Road in Colombo. When the protesters broke through the barricades that were placed, the police used tear gas and water cannons.
What did the government that is selling the property of the people of this country show us? They showed us what is remaining is not democracy but tear gas. We need to remind the government that the people they control through tear gas are the same people who remove rulers from their thrones. The people have not appointed Ranil Wickremesinghe or Mangala Samaraweera through public mandate to sell the port.
In headline-making stories this evening, Minister of Public Enterprises Development Kabir Hashim notes that an investor has been selected for a public-private partnership with Sri Lanka Airlines. The minister notes that the details of the investor have now been forwarded to the Prime Minister. The minister notes that the selected investor was one of the 3 shortlisted companies that was chosen through a tender process. However, on a previous occasion, Minister Kabir Hashim said that there might be a grounds to call for tenders once again, as the shortlisted investors did not have a direct involvement with airline services.
10 companies placed their bids for a stake in Sri Lankan Airlines. Of the 10 bidders, 3 were shortlisted. The shortlisted investors included Peace Air, which has links to Sri Lankan, Maldivian-based Super Group and US-based TPG Group. However, trade unions charge that there are issues pertaining to the transparency of the selection of investors.
Peace Air held an open discussion and revealed their plans for the future. However, the other 2 organizations are yet to reveal their intentions to trade unions or the country. The Prime Minister always speaks of the policies of the Licchavi Kingdom. We urge him to exercise these policies when taking a decision on this. We have received information that the Texas Pacific Group of the TPG has expressed interest in coming as an investor. We have received information that the former central bank governor is linked to this company. This would not have happened if activities were carried out in a transparent manner. If these claims are false, reveal the truth to the country.
Meanwhile, Peace Air, which have been shortlisted for the deal with Sri Lankan Airlines, convened a media briefing in Colombo yesterday.
I do not know who owns the company. I have a habit of not looking into my competitors. Several people ask me if I am looking into this. I have no need to look into them. When the result comes in, we will be happy. We have received 76 points. Another had received 67 points, while TPG has only received 55 points.
So, 5.5 US dollars billion.
We do not know. The bids have not been made public. We made our bid public. According to information we received, TPG is going to fire 3,500 persons. We were in shock when 400 were axed. We have promised to hire these 400 persons. In addition, we will recruit a further 1,500. Why do we need so many? You need that many employees when we bring in 50 aircraft. We have also noted in the bid that if we develop Maithripala, we need this many for maintenance. In addition, we are also looking to hire former maintenance crews from the Sri Lanka Air Force.
Maintenance crews.
3 bids were shortlisted. 1 company had submitted all the required documents in the required manner. There is an official committee. They did an assessment, believed that they handed over their complete report to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister will decide whether or not the bid meets the requirement.
Minister, can you reveal the name of the company?
I cannot say that because I'm not in that committee.
One of the companies that placed the bid held a media briefing in Colombo yesterday and said that they were the front runners.
They may have the ability to speak with the committee. They must have been involved in the process. If they had provided the necessary details, then the committee would have reached a decision on them. The final decision lies with the Sri Lankan government. It alone has the right to accept or reject a bid.
You mentioned during a media briefing that there might be a need to call for fresh tenders.
What I said was that if the bids don't meet the requirements, then we will call for bids once again. The committee is yet to inform us of whether the bids have been selected or not.
The Auditor General's Department has focused its attention on investigating the Bank of Ceylon, which is connected to the controversial central bank bond transaction.
Auditor General Gamini Vijayasinghe said that attention needs to be drawn to the fact that a large amount of money was given out as a loan to perpetual treasuries during the CBSL bond issue. The COPE report also revealed that the Bank of Ceylon had forwarded bids at interest rates of 12.5%, 12.75% and 13% for 13 billion rupees as per a request of perpetual treasuries. The COPE report goes on to say that the working committee investigations reveal that this is the first time that a primary dealer bid on behalf of another primary dealer for central bank bonds.
Meanwhile, a group of professionals arrived at the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption to look into the progress of the complaint that was lodged regarding the central bank bond issue.
A heated situation arose when a group of professionals were not allowed to enter the Commission.
independent body independent body independent body I am admiral, you know that. You see, yeah, private property
ආරයන මිනිස්සු නෙමෙයි ඔබතුමා දන්නේ නැහැ නේද මාස 3කට කලින් මේක ලැබුණා කියලා. මේ කිසි කෙනෙකුගේ පෞද්ගලිකකරණක් නෙමෙයි දුන්නේ. ජාතියට බලපාන යුගයට බලපාන බරපතල ප්‍රශ්නයක්. අදාළ උත්තරීතර ආයතනයට බාර දුන්නා. මාස 3ක් කියන්නේ සති දෙකක් ඇතුළත රජයේ ලිපියක් යවන ඕන එකක්. ඔබතුමාලාගෙන් ලිපියක් ආවේ නැතුව පමණක් නෙමෙයි මාස 3කට පස්සේ ඒක විමසන්න ආපුවාම අදාළ නිලධාරියෙක් එවන්නේ නැහැ. එවැනි නිලධාරියා එහෙම මාස 3කට යමක් ලැබිච්ච බව දන්නේ නැහැ. අඩු තරමේ මං අහන ප්‍රශ්නෙට ඔබතුමාට උත්තරයක් නැහැ. නෑ නෑ සභාපතිතුමාට කතා කරලා මේ මහතුන් උත්තරයක් දෙන්න. ඔව් මේක අපි මොකටද ඔබතුමාට දෙන්නේ? ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මේ වෙලේ ඒ කාලේ ගත්ත ඇක්ෂන් එක ගැන මොකක්වත් දන්නේ නැහැ. නෑ ඒ කාලේ අපි මෙතන පැයක් ඉන්නම් ඔබතුමා ගිහිල්ලා මේකට උනේ මොකද්ද කියලා බලන්න ඉන්න. වොයිස් කට් රේඩියෝ තමයි දෙමුනේ. අර කියන්නේ නේ. දෙතුන් දිනක් විතර කතා ගන්න.
It has been 3 months to date. We do not know whether the Bribery Commission has commenced an investigation into this. Those who are involved in this are at large. There seems to be arrests that are carried out based on an agenda for political reasons. We have arrived here to inquire into this. There is only one matter to be investigated. Was the leadership of the UNP involved in this? There is proof that they were involved. That is what needs to be investigated. COPE has not investigated that matter. The group then protested opposite the Bribery Commission and dispersed. However, after they had left, an official from the Commission arrived there to inform them of the progress of the complaint that they had lodged.
Well, there is a great debate in society on the land excavations in Divulapitia. The issue was raised during the Satana political program aired last night.
Recently, Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka visited a land excavation site in Divulapitia and engaged in a phone conversation with the Divisional Secretary over the matter. The heated conversation has already gone viral across many platforms. The Deputy Minister alleged the involvement of MP Indika Anuruddha in the Land Excavation Act.
There is an allegation that I am illegally excavating land. That is a serious allegation. At present, I am not involved in any business.
Is there an allegation that your relative is involved in this?
No, if a relative is in fact involved in this, it is a relative from the joint opposition who is against that. Why are Vimal Veeravansa's brothers being taken to the FCID? It's been 2 years. They could have done that. This is causing environmental destruction.
That is not the issue. The issue is there anyone involved?
I have a brother who is engaged in such operations with legal permits. I have a brother in the construction sector that pays taxes to the government.
ඒ ව්‍යාපාරය කරන ඉදිකිරීම් ශේෂ්ත්‍රයේ ව්‍යාපාර කරන රජයට බදු ගෙවන සහෝදරයෙක් මට ඉන්නවා.
Is this relative connected to this location?
Yes, he is.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe formally flagged off the construction of Phase 2 of the Central Expressway.
The section from Mirigama to Kurunagal is considered as the second phase of the Central Expressway. A plaque was unveiled today to mark the commencement of work for the second phase of the expressway, which will see construction take place in the areas of Alawa and Kudagamman area on the Girula Road. On the 6th of August 2016, Minister Lakshman Kiriella laid the foundation stone to commence work on the second phase for the expressway at this very location. The project, which saw 2 events being organized to commence work on 2 separate occasions, will cost an estimated 138 billion rupees. A distance of 39.2 kilometers is to be completed by the end of August 2019.
Bingiriye.
800 acres in Bingiria has been identified to establish a trade zone. The government also has shares in Lindell, which runs the Sabukaskanda trade zone. We are in talks to have a joint venture with the Andhra Pradesh Industrial Infrastructure Corporation to commence the trade zone in Bingiria. It will be the expertise with our lands. There is a US shortwave station in Iranavilla. Following the end of the term, they must hand over the land. We hope to commence a large tourism zone across 500 acres of land. We will bring greater development to this area.
In
the past, when expressways were constructed, the contract was always given to an overseas enterprise. We had discussions with the Prime Minister and Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake. We discussed with the Economic Subcommittee as well. Therefore, for the first time in Sri Lankan history, the construction contracts have been awarded to local companies. One company has been given 10 kilometers. On previous 4 occasions, separate roads were constructed. One is from Panipitiya to Gaul, then from Gaul to Mathura and the OCH1 and OCH2. These 4 roads were constructed with 100% foreign loans. 68% were given for the locals. And what happened to the other 32%? Everything will be revealed. The development which we undertake will fill your pockets.
The Board of Investment in a communique says that a new structure to promote investment will be in place by March this year.
At a meeting held to address issues concerning investors from the European Union, Minister of Development Strategies and International Trade, Mangala Samaraweera had said that a single window for investment would be established where investors would be able to obtain approval for their projects in Sri Lanka within 2 weeks. The press release by BOI also says that by March 2017, there would be a new structure that would focus on investment promotion. It is unclear whether the new structure mentioned in the communique is linked to the so-called Agency for Development. Incidentally, the BOI media release also notes that Managing Director for the Agency for Economic Development, Mangala was also present during the meeting with the EU delegation. The Development Special Provisions Bill, which carried provisions to set up this agency, was defeated in 7 provincial councils over concerns that it may weaken the power of provincial councils. The Development Special Provisions draft bill is to be presented in Parliament this month with amendments.
Reports from the United States suggest that Sri Lankans are among those affected by US President Donald Trump's immigration ban.
A press release from NoBanUSA.com, an organization advocating for persons affected by the ban, reads that 71 individuals coming from 20 different countries have been helped by a dedicated team of pro bono lawyers and volunteers at JKF Airport. Accordingly, as of press time, the ban has affected travelers from Iran, Iraq, Syria, Sudan, Turkey, Libya, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, France, Algeria, Jordan, China, Malaysia, Qatar, Senegal, Switzerland, Algeria, Egypt and Guinea. Kamlin Matler, Director of Legal Initiatives at NYIC, said this ban clearly affects more than just the 7 targeted countries, and the turmoil inflicted by this sudden disruption is spilling over into the broader United States as family members desperately seek to reunite with their loved ones.
In more local news, the joint opposition lodged a complaint against Minister P. Harrison at the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. Meanwhile, convening a media briefing today, Minister of Rural Economic Affairs P. Harrison denied the allegations made against him.
The joint opposition had named the complaint as the top 10. What Minister Harrison does is, he makes a written submission to the chairman to the board of directors requesting to release in tranches a total of 200,000 metric tons of paddy to certain companies. So he provides the 200,000 metric tons of paddy, which includes Kirisamba and Nadu rice, and so much more to all these companies for 24 rupees. How can he do that? When you multiply a metric ton by 1,000, it sums up to 200,000 rupees. How much will the loss be when it is multiplied by 18? Think about the loss. They did not produce animal feed using at least 1 kilogram of paddy. But what did they do? They purchased for 24 rupees and sold it for 35 rupees. So the paddy that was given for the production of animal feed was given for a price of 24 rupees and sold for 35 rupees. They are destroying the paddy market and are obtaining massive commissions through the importation of rice. We will take legal action against MP Lanka Samaraweera for coming up with false accusations. The public knows what's happening. Now they talk about something called the top 10. No one took it to courts, but I will and I am ready for it.
But we made that decision thinking about the betterment of the farmer. We did not have another option. We wanted to save the farmers and went for this alternative. There are complaints lodged against them in the Bribery Commission, and now they are trying to nab rogues. So we will.
Convening a media briefing earlier this evening, Minister of Power and Renewable Energy Ranjit Sembalapitiya made a plea from the general public to use electricity sparingly as the rainfall which was experienced is insufficient.
There is close to 500 megawatts of power which could be generated from generators of various private institutions. We call on these institutions to please use these generators during this time period. Street lights are usually switched on by around 5:30 in the evening. We request that this be delayed by around an hour and switch these lights on by around 6:30 or 7 and initiate a program where these street lights will be turned off by at least 5:30 in the morning. We hope to issue a circular in this regard. The government will not invest in the generation of power. That is its policy. It is the private sector which will generate power. That power which is generated will be purchased by the Ceylon Electricity Board at a fair and competitive price. So there will be no loss incurred just because the term private is used. We will do this under a proper agreement and at a competitive rate. For example, we have called for tenders for a 300 megawatt LNG plant. The tender process is being followed in a fair and transparent manner. So the winner of the tender may be local or foreign. We will purchase the power from them. Today we have initiated the system to convert one's roof into a solar power plant. So a small program has been brought forward where it encourages one to fearlessly convert his roof into a solar power plant under a 20-year agreement with the CEB and render a service to the country, be environmental friendly and even earn an income. State Minister of Defence Ruwan Wijewardena expressed his views on the assault which took place in the Arasadi area in Jaffna.
We will not let anyone from the north or the south to take control of the law. There can be small incidents, but the police will definitely investigate into those and do the needful. They will arrest those responsible. This will not affect national security. I know how most of the parliamentarians from the opposition say that this affects national security. The national security is at risk, but this will not affect national security by any means. The police have already taken steps to resolve this situation. Yes, definitely. Investigations are underway. We have arrested 4 suspects in this regard. If there is anyone involved in these conspiracies, we will arrest them as well.
Minister Champika Ranawaka marks a decade of service as a cabinet minister. The event to mark this milestone was held in Colombo today.
This event was held under the auspices of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and Speaker of Parliament Karu Jayasuriya. A compilation of publications penned by Minister Ranawaka based on the experiences gained during his 10 years of service as a minister was unveiled at the event. Minister Dr. Sarath Amunugama delivered the guest lecture at the event. Patali Champika Ranawaka received his primary and secondary education at the Sumana Jyoti Vidyalaya in Ingiriya and Taxila Central College in Horana respectively, and thereafter entered the University of Moratuwa for his higher education. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in electrical and power engineering with honours. Thereafter, he served as an advisor on engineering mathematics at the Open University of Sri Lanka and thereafter went on to serve as the Director of Strategic Enterprises Management Agency or SEMA. He entered a key point in his political career when he was appointed to the post of General Secretary of the Jatika Hela Urumiya or the JHU. Champika Ranawaka made his parliamentary debut in 2001 and was elected to parliament for the second time in 2007, contesting from the JHU. He was appointed as the Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, and in 2008 he was elected as the President of the Conference of Parties to Vienna Convention at its 8th convention. In 2010, he served as the Minister of Power and Energy, and in 2013, he was appointed as the Minister of Technology, Research and Atomic Energy. He was again appointed Minister of Power and Energy in 2015 and currently serves as the Minister of Megapolis and Western Development.
The government of Sri Lanka is committed to create the best police force in the region. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed these sentiments at the Sri Lanka Police Colours Night.
The Sri Lanka Police Colours Night was ceremoniously held with the participation of Inspector General of Police Pujit Jayasundara, government ministers and MPs.
The present administration headed by President Maithripala is committed to modernizing the police and to have the best police in this region. So therefore we have to encourage sports, because sports have played a role in forming the character and shaping the police organizations.
During the Colours Night, 213 police athletes were awarded special promotions, police colours, salary increments, IG's commendations and 60 million rupees as cash prizes. Special awards were given to a few officers who had displayed exceptional talents locally and internationally.
We have a memento to be presented to you.
The public laments that an unusually high price is charged for using public toilets in and around Colombo. Tonight, we delve deeper into the matter.
We examine a number of public toilets in Colombo today.
ඕන වැඩිද වතුර බිලම ලක්ෂ 3ක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒක තමයි 20 ගානේ ගන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ. නෑ 10 තමයි ගන්න කියලා. 10. ඇත්තටම ඔයාලට කවුද කියලා තියෙන්නේ 20 ගානේ ගන්න කියලා? අහන්න ටෙන්ඩර් එකක් තියෙනවා. කවුද දන්නේ ටෙන්ඩර් අරන් තියෙන්නේ? ඒක ඉතින් එහෙම බලා ගන්නවා. 20 මොන නම් 20 මත් දෙන්න ආරයන්. තා බත් ගන්න තන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒක දෙන්න ආයන්. පිට එන මිනිස්සු ඔක්කොගෙම ගන්න රුපියල් 20 ගන්න. පිට එන අයගෙන් ගන්න 20 ගානේ. කවුද කියලා තියෙන්නේ 20 ගානේ ගන්න කියලා අම්මලා? අපිට කියලා තියෙන්නේ ඉතින් මෙතන වැඩ ගන්න බොස් තමයි කියන්නේ. අර කීයක් ගන්නවද එක්කෙනෙක්ගේ?
20ක් ගන්න.
20ක්. කවුද කියලා තියෙන්නේ 20ක් ගන්න
කියලා දෙනවා ඉතින් මේ මහතුරුම කියලා දෙන්නේ. රුපියල් 20ක් ගත්තා හරිම අසාධාරණ මේ ක්‍රියාවලියක් තමයි මේ කරන්නේ.
කවුරු හරි හොයලා බලන්න ඕනේ. රුපියල් 20ක් ගන්නවා මිනිස්සුන්ට මොනවද තියෙන්නේ මේ පහසුකම්. අර සීතේවාල් මූලවරම කියන සිංගිලි වතුරියක් අරන් මොනවද නෙවෙයි සිංගිලි. කියලා දෙන්න වේවනේ.
සාමාන්‍ය මිනිස්සු මෙතන කීයටද එනවද? මේ මෙතන එන්න දෙනයිනේ. ඒක හොඳට සුද්ධ කරලා තියන්න ඕනේ.
This was what was expressed to us upon our inquiry into the matter.
මගේ 20ක් ගත්තේ. අතරම දැන් කවුද ඔබතුමා මෙතන කවුද?
මම එලවස් වස් කරනවා විතරයි.
මෙතන. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ ටෙන්ඩර් අරන් තියෙන්නේ කවුද?
ටෙන්ඩර් අරන් තියෙන්නේ වෙන එක්කෙනෙක්.
නෑ ඔබතුමා තමයි දැන් අපි නෑ නෑ නෑ.
කරුණා කරලා වීඩියෝ කපන්න බෑ. ලෝකේෂ් එකක් එනවා.
When news first inquired from the chairman of the National Transport Commission, MAP Hemachandra, he said that the price should be charged from an individual for using public toilets is 10 rupees.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Dasni Athauda.
And I am Shahin Jurampati. Good night and take care.